Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be just a short video testing a computer that I repaired a couple of weeks ago or so for Alejandro Delgadillo in California. So they went and connect the computer to the car, and they said they were getting fault codes for like a bin not read, or they could not activate the transfer pump, and it was given like, I don't know, like 6 volts or something like that. I'm like, I mean, send it over and I can obviously double check. So right now, I'm just going to show you first a picture. I am recording with my phone because it's the easiest way to actually show you. I'm not sure what I close that. Um, to show you in the screen and so what we are going to see here. First, I want to show you the connections that I have. I created a harness specifically for these computers, and actually, Alejandro, at first, I told you that I didn't have communication, and it was one of the wires in the harness that I did that was creating the issue. Nothing wrong with the computer. As you can see, it's a still seal. I didn't open it up. And I want to show you that it's actually working good. I see no problems on it. So this computer uses communications, and the first numbers are going to be the pins in the connector on the computer. This has 2 connectors, one with 60 pins and this with a 50 pin connector. Most of powers and grounds or so and sensors, 5 volt reference and so are in this connector. The lift pump is in the other connector. I am connected with the Mark 50, and we can see here this green light in here is the sensor ground, and that little yellow light in here is for the 5 volt reference, which I have connected here, so everything is working well as well. So communication, pin 16 goes to DLC 7, pin 19 to DLC 12, pin 28 is to DLC 2. I have a 5-volt reference and sensor grounds on pin 23 and pin 24, an ignition in pin 32, and then for my testing here, one ground on pin 50 and then a power on pin 30, which this computer uses 20, 30, and 40. They're interconnected inside the computer, and then the 2 grounds, 49 and 50, interconnected in the computer. There are other sensor signals and solder in the other connector, as you can see here on the pin with the 60 pin, but that is not really important. I forgot to mention this is a 2004 Ram 2500 with a 5.9 liter diesel Cummins, and the computer number is CM848D. At first, when he sent this computer, there was no communication or no, yeah, I couldn't establish communication with the computer. I repaired that, and I said, well, then see if I missed something. Not the case. Well, this computer, at least here, they don't read the bin immediately, but they do after. So we can see the bin, and here G221548. And I'm going to reestablish the communication after I do this test so he can see that. So I have a multimeter connected to the output that is supplied by the computer over to the lift pump in pin 45. Yeah, 45. Let me show you that in here. I got the wire diagram in here. So this is the lift pump. It has a constant ground in the computer on pin 45 on the 60 pin connector, supplies the power to lift, this is the one that's going to supply the high pressure pump, and then from there to the injectors. But yeah, so there is a bidirectional control that we can do on that. So I'm going to turn that on, and we can see that light is almost a 2 amp light, and it's nice and bright. And I want to show you the voltage, 12.8 volts. It is definitely going to be a voltage drop, depends on where you are connected. If I were to measure that on the other side, which is the ground side, we will have a completely different reading. Why? Because you're measuring it on the ground side. So let me get another of those pins and I'll be right back. All right, so what I did is, at first we were connected on the uh, power side, which is the computer side, and then now I am connected on the ground side. With no load, you will be reading 0. But when the pump is on, let's say in this case the light, we can see how we're getting now 1.9, almost 2 volts. And that is the voltage drop, completely normal through the windings of the pump and whatever motor, or in this case a light. That is again 2.5 amp volt that I'm using just to make sure that the driver is good. Yes, I can put a bigger load if I want to in there. Um, don't see a problem. The driver will work or not work. This is not like a, like um, how can I say, like a thing that can work temporarily. And just to establish communication, I'm going to completely get out of here. And the reason I connected the top down is because I want you to see that in here we can read the bin number in the module, which is very important. So I'm completely going out. I cannot do an auto ID, not with these systems. And you can see multiple of these videos that I have done. So I'm going to select Dodge, and we're going to do a manual selection of everything before we read the bin on the bottom. And you're going to see that. So right now we got no bin, right? So we're going to select a 16 pin, Dodge, then 2004, based on his bin, run truck. I want you to see that there is no bin in here. I'm going to get a little closer. There is no bin here on the bottom, so run truck. And I'm going to click on the PCM, enter. And when these establish the communication until here, we just selecting it, but it has not talked to the computer. So that's why we get no bin. Pretty soon, it's going to communicate, and we're going to read the bin right in the bottom right here. You see? Okay, by itself, 221548, and that is definitely your bin, Alejandro. So in here, I can also go into special functions, and I can check the bin number. This is very unique to top down. Not all the scanner has it, but this one we can check the bin number. And again, this is nothing else is connected in here. The only thing that has that bin is the computer. So 221548, I already checked with my records, all those digits and everything is proper, is correct. All right, so this, even though it says it's going to change the bin number, I should have said no. Can I get out of here? Yes. All right, so let me go into DTCs, read all the code. Yeah, there is no being mismatch or nothing in here. So something else is in your truck that is definitely giving you that problem. I don't have any. He sent me pictures and I have it on my phone. I'll have to look into that. But let me just look into 1 second. I will have to stop the video. So, but yeah, so we don't have that. I can go into data stream and I have nothing connected, so I don't have to go into like ECM voltage. Let's say, just again, we can do the bidirectional control. I can put this into a graph mode and we'll see the voltage in here. I'm going to change the voltage. Let me just select 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to go a volt down, a volt up, another volt up, down, down, up, up, down. So we can see that the scanner is reading properly. So there is absolutely no issues in that. And then if I go over again to the bidirectional control, which is in, let me just see, is this system? No, actuation test. What's it here? Yeah, actuation test, transfer pump. And then we can just go start. And we can see that this could not start actuator, even though it's on. Sometimes these Chinese, and now it's on. Okay, finally it turns it on. It turns it off. I think I went into system test. Yeah, um, transfer pump test. And then here is the on and off. You see, we got the light on, light off. So why is because again we're connected onto that. If I move my lead from my multimeter, I have the negative lead connected to ground, and now the positive lead on the ECM side, not on the ground side of the pump, right? So it depends on where you are connected, right? But again, if I turn this on, we can see 12.8, almost 12.9 volts. So yeah, that voltage is good, and we have a very nice and bright light. So I don't suspect anything wrong with this, Alejandro. So I don't know what to tell you, but the problem you have is in the truck. So that is, I'm not sure what is exactly you're missing in there. Computer is communicating good, and now we have no issues. I'm going to keep stressing a little more the computer, but I don't see nothing wrong with your module. Fiber reference, everything is in there. I also like to check, which is some other fiber reference we have here since we're in this. So the computer is on, and I now connected to the ground on the other side. So let me go over to that picture because we have the camshaft position and the crank. They got their own fiber reference. So let me just see. Yeah, 54 and the obviously on the 60 pin. 54 should be right here at the bottom, and we can see. So I'm touching right there, and we can see the fiber reference for the cam. All right, so the other one is 27, or I was in 54 for the camshaft position sensor reference, and then the CKP will be 27. So we have 1 to 10, 11 to 20, then 21 to 25, 25, sorry, 26 to 30. So 26, 27 is right here. And we got that fiber reference as well. So again, nothing missing in here. These are the most important signals, and I asked them to check this in the car. Yeah, I know it's very hard to do because of the position of this module, but yeah, I am not sure what are you missing, but definitely not the computer. Is not the computer your problem. All right, guys, thank you so much. Again, just a short video. I'm trying to help the customer in the tech. Frederick is working with him. He's a good technician. He works and he has his own shop for European cars, and he's helping Alejandro. So if you guys need any wire diagram or more information, please don't hesitate to contact me. I, as you can see, always recommend to get a good scanner. The IM608 is for keys and it has diagnostics, but it's very limited for what it can do. You need to have a bigger, either the Ultra or these. And let me reconnect. Let me actually, you know what? Let me connect the Ultra so you see if we can do this test or not with that scanner for all of you guys too. I am just turning the Ultra on, trying to keep as much as glare out of the picture. I thought it was on already. All right, again, let's try to do an auto ID, which is, like I said, I don't think it's any module that's going to be able to read this computer by itself. It has to be in the car. Sorry for the glare, but we need to have a little bit of a light. Okay, as a known vehicle model. So we're going to go into American cars, Dodge, standalone. And this we're going to do into manual selection. Just trying to show you guys the difference in between one scanner and the other one, because sometimes you think that you have the best tool and there is no perfect tool. I really uh, disapprove that from the manufacturers of these tools because I think they make it on purpose. So you have to buy more and more tools. That's the way they keep us on spending and spending. RAM, okay. We're going to click OK. ECM. Yeah, and this one, I read some of the bin. C24G, I don't know what that is. Let me just see what is that part of the bin. Um, 1 second, Alejandro. 328. Yeah, not sure what is that number. U2AC24G22, because there is a U2AC24G22, but it's not really the entire bean because we haven't even selected the car, or well, we did select the car, but we haven't really read the bean on this one. So as you can see, the difference from one scanner to the other. Let's read the ECU information and see if you can read it. Yeah, you can see it's 5.9 liters, so that is reading properly. Um, Light data, and let's look for ECM voltage, battery temperature, ECM battery voltage right here. Show selected, and let's do a graph. Come on. All right, I'm going to do the same thing as far as the bolt down. It's not showing any voltage. I mean, it's showing the voltage, but it's not showing any graph. Wow. Well done. Not even sure what is reading in here, because you can see the voltage in there. I can go up, and it's showing 13.8. I can go down 12.8. Let's keep it on a 13 point something. Let's see active test. And this is where you see this does not have um, the bin read. Transmission overdrive, fuel control. Let me see if it's in here. Do you want to view data stream? No. Engine must be running, so no. I don't know what that is. Test the stop, heater, AC. Very, very limited access. So let's do one other thing. Let's enter the VIN number because we cannot read nothing in here. Come on. Yeah, I have seen, on these trucks, the top down to be a little more strong or stronger than any other scanner for these vehicles. Let me go into automatic selection. See, this is something because I don't think it's going to be able to read the bean. You see, right now, it reads something else, a part of the bean, but not completely. So we have that 3D7 KU, exactly. So it's mixing the bean because 3D7, and then I don't know what the rest of the number is 1548 because that is the last part of the, you see 3D7 KU 1548 is the last part of the bean. So it's reading but not complete. And that all has to be with the software that this tool has inside. So we can do, yeah, let's exit, manually input the bin. All right, we're gonna do 3D7 KU 28C 24G 21548. Yeah, Dodge. Let's see if with this we get a more or correct menu for the car. Still they're giving me ECM, and this is not a ECM, it's a PCM. Active test, same. You see, this is very limited compared to the top down. System check. Yeah, no injector kill test, live data, trouble codes. Let's see what trouble codes this one reads. Low voltage detected. Well, yes, because we were playing with that, but nothing on the beam. And we already went into the ECM information, and we know that it read that good. But yeah, with this one, we cannot do anything. So let me go into hot functions and see if it's anything. Okay, this one in hot function has this. The selection function is not supported. So yeah, you cannot read the beam with this tool at all. You see in this one, the top down is winning the race when it comes to Dodge Ram trucks. And I wanted to show you that. So yes, if you're using an hotel, it's definitely not the best tool to work with. So let me connect the Snap-on and see how is the Snap-on with this one. All right, just connected the Snap-on. This is the SUS Plus, which is the latest and greatest from Snap-on. Software-wise, yes, you're gonna have a little bit of a difference on in graphic and so on, but the rest, pretty much all the menus are the same around, like from the Solos up. Solos is a lot faster to connect to any vehicle compared to a SUS. SUS try to load, this is based on Windows software, so it's a little slower compared to all those Android version scanners. But I like this a lot better. This tablet is a lot better quality than anything that they have sell before. All right, so we're going to do again a scanner. This is going to try to attempt to do that, and you see it didn't even do it. So we're going to go into Dodge 2004 manual ID, and I don't have my glasses, so let me just get back a little bit. I think this is a. I think it doesn't matter for us. It's a 5.9. And we're going to just click OK here. So we're going to go into the engine, automatic with air conditioning. Again, for what we have here, it doesn't really matter, any of that. Um, System tests, disable injectors or no. Functional test, fuel control, heater, transfer, battery relay, DC clutch transfer pump. Okay, we got the transfer pump. Let's see if we can do the activation or not here. And then we can do on. Okay, that's this scanner does the on and off. Well, I just hit the off and it's not working properly. You see it? So finally, well, it took a while. Let me see. On, off. Well, this time I did it very fast. On, on. Oh, it's pulsing it. Hopefully you can see that. It's pulsing it. All right, so okay. Well, this whatever it's doing it is doing it. All right, but we cannot read the beam, at least not with any other tool besides um, top done. Wait to start lamp, so nothing else in here. Let's see what kind of fault codes is reading in here. Yeah, nothing to do with any of the beam number. I don't know exactly where the Alejandro was getting or why was getting that fault code. Not sure. System test, functional test, data display. This one doesn't have any, not even ECM um, information. Nothing. You cannot read anything in here. Let me just see. Vehicle identification number. Perform the key engine off. Beam function mode is not supported. So, okay, so thank you so much. Calibration identification. Let me see if it reads anything. This is generic function. This is supposed to be from OBD2. Service not supported. So, at least not without the entire vehicle. Calibration verification number. Well, let me see if we read that. No, you cannot read anything, at least not here. I will have to do it on a truck to see, but as you can see, very limited, very, very limited compared to the top down. So on in between these three top of the line scanners, No doubt about it, top down is the best choice if you have a drum truck. So far, there is no doubt about it. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. See you next time. Bye bye.